Yeah, Ben, you're kind of in the center of those two redshirt freshman guards on the offensive line. And they're both gaining experience, but they lack experience. How are you helping them, or are you helping them with some of the communication issues during your game?
I think just the biggest thing is talking, getting everyone on the same page because, just like you said, there's some guys that haven't played as much football as me, Royce, or Nick Broker. And so just communicating throughout the whole game is probably the biggest thing, but they've done a really, really phenomenal job so far. So,
Nick, go ahead.
And what do you think you guys can do as a team to turn close losses into wins?
I think just the emphasis needs to be to focus on us, not focus on the opponent. I think that we need to focus on us finishing as a team rather than saying, hey, we're behind or hey, we're barely up. We need to just focus on just doing our job. That's just the biggest thing, and not letting go of the gas. So,
when you say that, how do you think that wasn't happening on Saturday? Do you have an example of what you guys were doing instead of focusing on yourselves?
Well, I just think that, we should have on offense. We didn't execute well with the 4-minute, and then on defense, they weren't able to get the stop as well. And so I just think the biggest thing going into this week is just executing in crucial times and being able to close out a game. So,
Go ahead, Parrish.
What's the mindset of the team right now, Ben, after you guys have been close in 2 games back-to-back and haven't finished, as you say?
I think we've all got a bitter taste in our mouth because we're a much better football team than what our record speaks for. And I think that everyone knows that, and we definitely know that as a team. But we have to go out and do it. That's the thing. We have to go out and perform, and we have to go execute. So we can talk about being a good football team, which we are, but we have to actually execute and finish and close out these games, which we're very capable in doing.
What's your impression of the production you guys are getting at running back from Snoop and Ely together, that kind of tandem there?
Very exciting. Blocking for both Snoop and Ely, man, that's a fun duo to block for. They're both very powerful, very physical backs. They both run hard, and they're always trying to run, strain, and get extra yards.
How do they mesh off the field? Their personalities are similar, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they're both very laid back guys, but they're both really good too. They always tell the offensive line good job after a long drive, and they're both very selfless, very big team players. So
Go back to David.
Ben, the offensive line as a unit probably had one of its best games last year against Vanderbilt. From what you've seen on film so far this week, just your initial thoughts on the Vanderbilt defensive front.
I think Vanderbilt's D-line has a chip on their shoulder right now because they've been out for a few games. They haven't had as many opportunities to play as we have, and it's a big rivalry game, so they'll have a chip on their shoulder. They haven't played in a while. They're going to have guys back, and it'll be at Vanderbilt. So our biggest thing is to just strike early and strike fast.
Go ahead, Nick.
When the wins aren't coming, how do you guys evaluate progress? Are there benchmarks that you're looking at of getting better, or is it kind of black and white?
Well, I think the ultimate benchmark is winning and losing. So, therefore, if we aren't winning, then we're not satisfied. However, we need to also look at the progress, what you're making as an individual. So, for example, like me snapping the football, I think my progress snapping the football has gotten better. However, we still did not win the football game. So, winning and losing the football game is the ultimate benchmark.
Go ahead, Nate.
You mentioned Vandy as kind of a big rivalry game for you guys. Just out of curiosity, how do you stack up those rivalry games with State? And you mentioned Vandy, maybe LSU. Where do they kind of rack up with you?
Well, I don't really like to, compare different rivalries to one another, but, it's always a physical game. Playing Vanderbilt, they always play hard. They're well coached, and they always strain all 4 quarters. So we've just got to go execute and play all 4 quarters to the best of our ability.